friends, what's going on? It's Ultimus. We had a release a couple days ago, yesterday, something like that. Over now, we have at our fingertips all of the artifact weapons for every spec. I think there's a couple that might not have data yet. I think I saw Brewmaster Monk has no data yet, which is fine because we're not really playing a Brewmaster Monk. Oh, Prop Paladins has no data yet. Sorry. But for the most part, it looks like every spec. Oh, no Resto Shaman there either. So, looks like there's quite a few actually. I guess I should really think before I talk, and that's okay. We'll be dumb. It's okay. We're tired. It's late. It's like almost 2 a.m. But we got to record videos because these things aren't going to make themselves. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Based on the title, and I'm sure just kind of knowing the kind of content we put up here, we are looking at the Warrior artifact tree. I'm going to be looking at Arms and Fury today. Never mind, there's no artifact data for Arms, so we're just going to look at Fury. That's okay. I wasn't really prepared to look at Arms yet either. I'm not going to lie. I look at every other class and spec first before I look at my own because I just put it off to the last bit because I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous when I start looking at what Blizzard is going to do with Warriors and all that stuff like that, just because I'm hopeful, but at the same time, I'm just always scared. You always get nervous. You got to wonder. So we're going to go ahead and look at Fury, and then as soon as the Arms data becomes available, we'll come back and we'll look at that, so we'll make it a separate video. So this should work out better because the video will probably be shorter and should hopefully retain everyone's attention span, including my own. Hopefully I don't fall asleep while recording this. So keep in mind, as you see up here in this big red print right here, it says, warning, this is a very early version of this tool, Blizzard's data, and how we interpret it. So as of right now, we really have no idea how much of these are going to be changed, what's going to be added, what's going to get taken away, where our points are going to start. Do we get to pick where we started from on the outside, inside? Is there a specific starting point? As far as I can gather, we really don't know for sure. So as far as right now, we're just going to kind of look at overview, see what this is going to look like, and so we can get a better idea of how this is going to work with how Fury plays, playing into our talent trees and our PvP talents as well as our baseline abilities. So that being said, of course, I'll give a little bit of my opinion on some of this stuff too. I've looked at a couple of the other talents already, and some of these abilities and traits in here just baseline without even adding the relic slots that buff and let you break the limit on these and go past what the basic slot is. So like, for example, let's look at Uncontrolled Rage, how it has 3. Let's say we have a relic for that lets us go 4 out of 3 and fill that slot up without even adding all those things in there. Some of these artifact weapon talents are just insanely overpowered sounding, and in the best way possible. I've been saying for years, Blizzard needs to take some tips from Diablo, which they have been, if you've been paying attention to what's kind of coming out with Legion, and make some of the abilities in WoW just crazy. Like, because if you look at Diablo, some of the abilities and things that different classes have are just bonkers. They look cool. They're fun to cast. You look forward to casting them. You can't wait for them to come off cooldown. And I think we're going to see some of that coming into Legion here, which is exciting. Specifically looking at the Shaman tree, the Enhancement Shaman tree, and I don't even play a mage, but I was looking at the Frost Mage, and some of the Frost Mage artifact weapon talents are crazy. Stuff from you heal over time. As a Fire Mage, I should say, you heal over time after you cast Blink. Enhancement Shamans just get crazy gnarly buffs to their Wind Fury. In the Warlock Destruction tree, your Rain of Fire spell is going to rain down Infernals as well. Stuff like that. You're just like, what? Like, what is this? What rabid dog game developer did they let loose on these artifact trees and just go to town? So I'm excited to see what we got here for Warriors, but I'm also a little bit nervous because I feel like compared to other classes, Warriors tend to feel a little underdeveloped or lackluster. But I guess that's the downside to playing a melee class. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the trees, the talents, and some of my opinions and thoughts on them. So let's start up here. Rage of the Valajar. Raging Blow has a chance to activate Berserking for 12 seconds, causing all special attacks to increase your attack speed and critical strike chance by 5%. This effect stacks. Now, it does not say how much it stacks. We just know that it does stack. So again, the whole idea of you are going to be having just more and more attack speed. I really am curious when all this is said and done and we hit max level and we've got everything filled up and our slots are all filled out. Like, how fast is Fury Warriors like damage output going to be? Is this just going to be, I mean, if that's the case, I guess it would make sense why they take so much more damage when they're berserking, because like they're gonna do so much damage. So it's just they're gonna be the epitome of glass cannons. My goodness. So, moving on from Rage of the Valajar to Odin's Fury, hurl both of the corrupted war swords at your target, dealing 10 fire damage each, then leap at the target, dealing 10 fire damage to all enemies. What is this madness? Oh, I mean, obviously those numbers are off base, because we're not going to be doing 10 fire damage, so obviously, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but what? So you're going to chuck your swords, it's going to do fire damage. After that, you're going to leap to the target, and you're going to land and then do more fire damage to all enemies within 5 yards. It's got a 45-second cooldown. The pillar augments. Leaves the AoE. Okay, so looks like these are the things we can add augmentations to. I'm not sure how this is all gonna play. So this is yet to be figured out as far as what the pillar augments are, but we'll go ahead and read it anyways. Leaves an AoE periodic effect, fire damage snare when you impact with the target for 6 seconds. Okay, you gain 100% parry for 5 seconds after landing. Gain enraged regeneration after incurring its cooldown. Wow. See, this is how we're mitigating the extra damage we're taking. Yeah. See, I told you guys it would be fine. That they would work something out into the talent trees or weapons to mitigate and change some of all that extra damage we're taking. Because 5 seconds of 100% parry. We trigger or we proc enraged regen without incurring the cooldown when landing. And then you can gain the winds of the Valajar, making your windy and something wonderful. You know what? That's the most exciting one yet. Making you windy and something. Best talent 2015. I don't even care what the rest of them are. Now I want to know what that does. My goodness. Just wind flying off you. Jeez. So, how those pillar augments are going to work, I don't know. Are we going to have to pick one? Are we going to get all of them? Are we going to be able to pick a couple of them? I'm not entirely sure yet. That's to be determined. We might figure more of it out as we go throughout this tree, but either way, I think that's going to add some epic gameplay components. And that range can't be right. 100-yard range, there's no way. Anyways, Unstoppable. Rampage damage increased by 6%, and that can buff up to 13, looks like, after it's fully stacked out, so that's kind of cool. Going down to Thirst for Battle, increase the damage of Bloodthirst by 6%, and that can go all the way up to 13 as well. Blood Craze, while below 50% health, Bloodthirst heals for 66% more. 100% more, 133% more. Interesting. Okay, that's kind of cool. So again, more just emphasis on those self-healing procs and things like that to help offset all that damage you're going to take. Now we got Fires of Odin. Whirlwind causes Raging Blow to lash out 2 streaks of fire for the next 6 seconds, damaging all enemies in front of you for 0 fire damage. So hopefully they buff that one because that seems a little underpowered. Again, tooltip is a little broken, which is completely fine, but the concept sounds cool. So I like that we're seeing the botched talent and the scratch talent that we were originally going to get in Warlords. What was it called? Basically the one that set our weapon on fire, and then they got rid of it because they didn't like the way it was going to play out for Warriors. We're seeing a little bit of that brought back, which is kind of cool. I think it would have been a good fit for Warlords of Draenor, in all honesty, with the Burning Blade and all that, and I would think it would have been a great fit for Arms Warriors. And I think Blizzard missed an opportunity there, but I like that we're seeing them kind of come back to the idea, and they're not completely ditching it. So it's kind of cool. So put that one there. Let's go back up top real quick here to Uncontrolled Rage. Charge generates 10 additional rage, and fully stacked, that goes up to 20. Focus in Chaos. While enraged, your auto attacks are guaranteed to hit. Oh, snap. Okay, so no missing whatsoever. I can get behind that. It almost seems like it would be better placed in Arms, though, if Arms is supposed to be a patient and focused, precise striking warrior. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have in the Fury Warrior tree. I can't imagine, but it just almost seems like it would be a better fit for Arms Warriors, obviously without the enrage mechanic, but that's neither here nor there. Wrath and Fury. Raging Blow damage increased by 6%, stacks up to 13. Not sure if these numbers are right, because 13 sounds like an odd number, but as of right now, it's going to be a buff to Raging Blow. That's what matters. Unrivaled Strength Battle Shout also increases critical damage by 20%. So it doesn't increase your critical chance. It increases the damage done from a critical strike by 20%. So that's kind of huge. That's a big difference rather than a critical strike chance. And of course, that can stack up to 40%. Bonkers. I want to know what the numbers are going to be like in Legion, because obviously we are not getting another stat squish. If you've taken a look at what the numbers are on some of the gear, as Blizzard has been releasing the legendary items, I think there's like 52 of them that we're going to get in Legion. Like, those numbers are not small numbers, so I'm very curious to see what's going to go on here. Raging Berserker increases damage dealt while enraged by 6%. I'm guessing stacking up to 13. Yep, cool. Then we'll go up here. Death Dealer, execute critical strike chance increased. Oh, nice. Okay, up to 13%. So a nice little buff to execute there. Battle Scars, while enraged, your health is increased by 10%. Oh, see, that's another thing. Kind of cool. Okay, so basically, whenever you're enraged, which that's the whole point of being a Fury Warrior, to help offset as well some of the extra damage you're going to be taking, you have an increased health pool by up to 20% when you have this fully decked out with the 3 points. So you're going to have a bigger health pool. You're going to be able to potentially proc enraged regen. Your Bloodthirst is going to heal for more. Where did that go? Yeah, right there. And then some other good stuff. And then, of course, the defensives here with this one here, Odin's Fury. Kind of cool. Dig it. Juggernaut. Execute increases the damage of Execute by 0%. We'll just say X. And increases your haste by 0. Oh, wow. So basically, whenever you use Execute, is the impression I'm getting, it's going to increase the damage of Execute by whatever amount, and your haste by a certain amount for 15 seconds, and this effect stacks. I can't imagine them letting this stack higher than 5 stacks. We probably will only see maybe 2 or 3. But then again, though, with some of the crazy stuff Blizzard's pulling out here with some of these artifact talent trees and stuff like that, who knows what they're going to do with this. Be kind of just crazy if it stacked up to 10, but I mean, we'll see. This is nuts. Helia's Wrath, Rampage, Critical Strike, Refund, 0 Rage. I can imagine that that's going to obviously be different because that would be silly. But Rampage looks like it's going to be one of our big cooldowns that we're going to have. The one that kind of stacks and you continue to do crazy damage. You do like 5 strikes in 2 seconds, all that stuff like that. So it looks like whenever you crit with that, if you take this talent, it's going to refund Rage, which is pretty cool. Sense Death. Execute has a 0% chance to make your next execute cost no rage. Oh, snap. So again, just the emphasis. I like that Fury isn't getting neglected as far as execute goes, because I feel like the tendency over the past few years has been Arms really got kind of all the love when it came to execute, but Fury kind of got left behind, even though I know execute hits with both weapons, so it kind of ends to work out one way or the other, but it's kind of cool to see some execute talents over here. So that's crazy. So, and it doesn't say it's going to stack. So, but whenever you use execute, it's got whatever the percentage is going to be, chance to make your next execute consume no rage. So free executes. Odin's Champion. When you use Rampage, Odin has a chance to declare you the champion of the Valajar for 10 seconds, causing you to generate 0 rage per second, and causes all special attacks to reduce the cooldown of all abilities by 0 seconds. So, I mean, whatever these numbers end up filling in, I mean, potentially, I don't remember, does Fury have access to, just for the sake of, see, no, they don't. Okay, so that's how they're offset, because Arms still has Anger Management, which is every 10 rage you spend reduces the remaining cooldown of your last stand and shield wall by 1 second. I don't know if it affects other abilities too. Oh, cooldown of Recklessness. So that's interesting that it says Fury and Protection get it as well, because it looks like they don't. So I'm curious how that's going to play out, but it doesn't look like Fury gets access to that. So it seems like Odin's Champion is kind of taking the place of that particular talent, along with some other nice little buffs there too. So kind of crazy. So I'm not going to lie, I'm actually really impressed with this whole artifact weapon tree, and I'm definitely seeing how these artifact weapons are going to be built into the core of who your character is, because this makes sense to me. with all of the extra damage that they're saying Fury Warriors are going to be taking, and Warriors are like, wait, what? This doesn't make any sense. Why would you do this to us? And we're over here scratching our heads because now we're thinking we're not going to be able to go anywhere without a pocket healer. It's not even just going to be a YouTuber and Twitch streamer thing anymore. You're just going to have a pocket healer. Well, maybe not necessarily, because if all this works out the way they're proposing it, you might not necessarily need one between the increased health pool when you're enraged, proccing enraged regen from this talent, depending on how that works out, increased healing from bloodthirst, all that kind of stuff like that. I can see this balancing out quite nicely, and I like the direction they're going with it. And these definitely feel very core-centric to a Fury Warrior. They're playing very well into your abilities. They're not getting too far off track. It seems like they're keeping it right where they want it. The only one that seems slightly out of place is still Focus and Chaos, except for the Enrage mechanic. I mean, obviously the Enrage mechanic is the most important thing, but just the whole guaranteed hit seems a bit out of place compared to Arms. But again, I'm not complaining about it either. So some pretty crazy cool stuff coming up here. I think Fury sounds even more fun to play after looking at this artifact tree. I, for one, think the artifact weapons for Fury look great. I think they look absolutely just crazy and cool. If you haven't had a chance to look at them, check them out. The extra skins on them, they just look savage. So I can't wait to throw them on my warrior and see how geared up and decked out we can maintain both, 2 specs on him. But we'll see. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Kind of shared my 2 cents on some of these abilities. Definitely the Shining Star is Odin's Fury. That just sounds like so much fun. I want to chuck flaming swords at people and leap to the target and do more fire damage. I hope that is viable and does a ton of damage, because I'm going to abuse the butts off of that. So let me know in the comment section if there is another class you would like me to cover, class and or spec. I will probably be going over Enhancement Shamans, Unholy Death Knights, and probably Holy Paladins as well, just because, again, those are kind of what I play the most of. But if you guys would like me to go over some of the other ones, please do let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys and what you'd like to see. It does help when deciding what kind of videos I want to make, because a lot of times I feel like I'm shooting in the dark here and just kind of saying, hope you guys like it. But so that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy. Please feel free to share the video if you find it to be helpful and think other people that you know would enjoy it as well. As a reminder, I do have a Facebook page now where I do post all my videos and things like that as well. So you'll be able to keep track of when I post stuff and things like that. You don't have to keep checking back the YouTube page and all those good things. If you want to follow me there, that would be a big support and much appreciated. Of course, the link will be down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time.